Diego is fortunate to have a wide range of radio stations, from rock, country and rap, to classical and talk shows. I'm Jenny Robinson. Today on PACE, we're visiting with Mark Dubosky from Jazz 88.3 right here in San Diego to find out what's happening in the world of jazz radio. Mark is the station manager of KSDS FM and has been involved in broadcasting since he was a teenager. His love of jazz and its place in San Diego will become evident today when we hear about all that this station is doing to present, preserve, and promote jazz. Welcome to PACE, Mark.
Thank you.
Mark, we're going to begin by talking about jazz and the definition of jazz, just because a lot of people, I think, are unaware that jazz consists of lots of different types of music, especially on your station.
Many people think of jazz as only unrelated notes, and nothing could be further from the truth. While there is a kind of jazz that is progressive, the majority of jazz is very accessible and very familiar. Everything from the Charlie Brown theme to when you walk into a retailer or a Starbucks and you're going to hear jazz. It's a very easy music to listen to. It relates to the American experience, and it is America's contribution to world music, and actually is often more appreciated overseas than it is here in this country.
That's really true, isn't it? I think that a lot of our listeners aren't aware that all the early TV shows, Peter Gunn, The Avengers, and movies, The Pink Panther, all had jazz as their theme songs that became very, very popular.
And in fact, many of the commercials you watch on television today have jazz as their background music because it's easy to listen to and very motivating. It's a positive, forward type of music. It's a little more intricate, takes a little bit of concentration, but can also serve very nicely as a background. So it serves a lot of functions, and as you said, Jenny, there are many varieties of jazz that satisfy most tastes, from Latin jazz to even the blues. It came out of the same basic tree as jazz.
Exactly, and gospel. And
swing, big band.
Right. All of that is considered
Dixieland,
jazz.
it's all jazz.
And even world music you play on your station. I'm just amazed at the variety, and depending on the time of day, the different types of music that you hear. Let's talk about the station that you work at, because I got a chance to visit you and I was really impressed. You're at City College in San Diego.
We're at City College. We're part of the San Diego Community College District, which has 4 major campuses here in town and is one of the largest community college districts in the country. Services about 125,000 students. At City College, we're in the radio TV department, and as such, we're part of the educational system at City College, but we're also a nonprofit, public, member-supported radio station. And while we do get some financial support from the Community College District, our largest source of income is from listener membership, like public radio. It is public radio. Many people, when they hear public radio, think of just the NPR news, but that's a network. We're a listener-supported educational radio station, and we strive to serve that function both in the community as well as on the campus.
With no ads.
No ads.
Absolutely no ads. You can't even have ads.
We are a commercial-free radio station. It's illegal.
Yeah.
What we can do is acknowledge donations, and every now and then you'll hear us say support for Jazz 88.3 comes from, and that's the acknowledgement of a donation made to the radio station by a business or a grantor.
So tell us about the physical plant that you actually work in. You have your little studio, and you have some new building construction going on.
Well, that's true. There was some bond money passed that is modernizing the City College campus, and we hope within a year or so to be in brand new state-of-the-art studios and expand our space considerably. And that's because the station has grown over the last 10 years from 300 members to over 3,500 members, and from 30,000 listeners to over 100,000 listeners a week just here in San Diego. So we occupy a small corner of the radio TV department, and we hope to expand that in the new facilities. The other thing about the radio station that I'd like to mention is our worldwide reach. We are a nationally broadcast station through the internet and have listeners around the country and around the world, and are generally recognized as one of the top jazz stations in the world. Evidence of that is over 80,000 downloads of our iPhone
Oh, boy.
application, for example.
Wow. I want to talk more about the station because you do have a lot to tell, but I want to first of all let our listeners listen to an example of a group that you've really supported in San Diego, the Mission Bay Preservationist Band. I'm here at Mission Bay High School with J.P. Balma. He is the music director here, and he has done an incredible job with some young people that I'm going to introduce you to in a moment. JP, I want you to tell us, first of all, you're an ex-student here.
I am, yeah, absolutely.
And a graduate of San Diego State.
Graduate of San Diego State.
Can you tell us a little bit about the effect that music has on the students?
Well, I know me being here as a student, it affected my life in the best way possible because I became a music teacher and pursued a life in music. So this program is kind of essential in the development of my life, and I know it has been for a lot of my peers when I went here and for the students now. So it's something that the community has supported for a long time, and we're just so happy we can keep it going every year.
That's great, and you have done a lot of entertaining outside of the school.
We have. We play about 40 to 50 events throughout the year, and we travel to Sacramento every year. And last year we even got to go to New Orleans and open up for the Preservation Hall Jazz Band at Preservation Hall.
That's great. And what do you do at Jazz 88.3?
Well, Jazz 88.3 has really been a big supporter of our program and just all programs in San Diego City schools. They've done a great job with their outreach. They approached us probably our first year when we were just getting off the ground. It was my first year teaching, and they showed a great interest in our students and wanted us to be involved with their Jazz Live concerts, bringing students there. Introducing me to different musicians that would come into the classroom and workshop with the different students. And probably the highlight was when they had us play at their OB Jazz Fest a few years back.
And I saw them play.
That was
They were awesome.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to now introduce our students here for you. I can't wait to hear them play.
I'm Ronaldo. I'm in the 11th grade and I'm playing the piano.
Excellent.
I'm Laura, and I'm also in the 11th grade, and I'm a singer.
I'm Max. I'm in the 11th grade and I play Barry sax.
Barry sax?
Barry sax.
I'm Justin. I'm in the 12th grade and I play the tenor saxophone.
My name is Jose. I'm in the 11th grade and I play the trumpet.
My name is Katrina. I'm in 11th grade, and I play the clarinet and alto sax.
My name is Alejandro. I'm in the 10th grade and I play the trombone.
All the way over here.
My name is Michael. I'm in the 11th grade and I also play the trombone.
My name is Armando. I play the sousaphone in the 12th grade.
My name is Jordan. I play the bass and I'm in the 12th grade.
My name is Isaac. I play the guitar and the banjo, and I sing a bit, and I'm in the 11th grade.
I'm Malachi. I'm in the 12th grade and I play the drums. The first song we're going to play is Oh Didn't He Ramble.
Mark, that was just so inspiring. Those kids are so excited about what they're playing, and I just loved listening to them.
Well, JP has done such a great job with that band, and he has to deal with the turnover of students that you have at a high school level, and he's built a wonderful organization there. And we first discovered them at the Jazz 88 City College Educational Jazz Festival, and then they played for us at the Ocean Beach Jazz Festival, and we've used them at events on a regular basis. They're a wonderful group of kids who just love to get out and expose the music that they find so close.
And you support them in some ways.
Well, we support them by giving them exposure and by playing their music on the radio station,
Right.
but their music only gets played on the station because it's worthy of being played on the radio station.
Right, right. They're going somewhere, I think those kids are when they graduate. So what other programs do you have as outreach? Because I know that's a huge part of Jazz 88.3.
Well, our educational outreach is very, very important, and we work with the schools, the city schools and the county schools very closely. We do an annual instrument collection program that is given to the Community Council for Music in the schools, and we've collected over 700 used instruments.
That's from people that were not wanting to use their instruments
That's
anymore.
right, or
and
they have
give
their
them?
children's instruments sitting on the shelf and they don't know what to do with them, so they give them to us and they're refurbished and they're loaned out to students
Isn't
who can't
that
afford
wonderful?
instruments. We currently have a program in conjunction with young audiences called Jazz and American Art Form that goes, it takes a quartet and learning tools in front of elementary school students, and in the last year and a half we've been in front of 22,000 Title I, only Title I schools, elementary school students. In addition to that, we have the City College Educational Jazz Festival. So we have a number of educational outreach programs going to ensure that we do our part to make sure that there's music in the schools.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's proven. Kids who do music, kids who are exposed to music, do better.
And when you said Title I school, some of our listeners may not understand that. That's an inner city, usually an inner city, lower income school that has probably 90%, 80 to 90% of the students are disadvantaged, and they really thrive on this sort of thing. And some of them, I worked in one of these schools, and we had that sort of program come to our school, and the students were so involved, and our music program was one of our stronger programs because of that. The kids just love doing something that they wouldn't get to do otherwise.
Agreed.
Really, really
Agreed.
great.
And we're also sponsoring a jazz summer workshop this summer at Francis Parker School along with the House of Blues. It's the Jazz 88.3 Summer Workshop. So we've extended into another program now to make sure more kids have a chance to do music, and they shouldn't be denied that opportunity just because of limited resources.
Wow, how long is the
I think they have. We're going to have 3 one-week sessions. This is the 3rd year of those workshops, and we've kind of stepped up to try to promote it. And one of the reasons is they want it to become a national workshop and our national reach. We have listeners all over the country because there aren't a lot of stations doing jazz anymore, and certainly we're regarded, as I said earlier, as one of the better stations. So we can give them national, international exposure over the radio station.
Exactly. So that's 3 different groups this summer?
Yes.
Oh, wow, that's great. Now, you also have, all right, your jazz festival is pretty huge. I mean, you have all the bands from around San Diego come?
We have 24 bands on 3 stages performing on all day. And it's a non-competitive festival. It's instead a clinic-style festival where the professional musicians are the judges, and after they judge them, they go up on stage and work with them to improve them, to prepare the bands for competitive festivals later in the school year.
Oh, so they do have competitive ones?
There are competitive festivals throughout the county. This is one of the larger festivals, and they love it because they do get the assistance of professional musicians to help the teachers. And sometimes, you know, kids will hear an outsider better than they'll hear their own teacher.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Now, besides that, your station has, well, for members, you have a monthly program.
We have several things we do on the radio station, including Jazz Live at City College. Members get free admission, non-members only $10 if there are seats left from members, and we draw some of the largest jazz names in the country to the City College campus, a beautiful little theater, the Seville Theater, once a month, twice a month during the summer. We do a Sunday night jam down in Little Italy at a restaurant called Spaghetteria that is expanded so that we had to grow the hours. It's gotten so big, and so many people come down and jam with the house band. We do a monthly happy hour at the Inn at the Park where we invite local bands to show their stuff, and they come up, and it's a great time to mingle with other people who like similar type music.
Yes, and I think you didn't mention that your monthly and twice monthly in the summer program is live.
It is
on
live.
the radio, so you can listen to it at home if you don't make it to the studio.
Interestingly enough, Jenny, it's actually a radio show in front of a live audience,
Yes.
as opposed to a concert that's broadcast.
Yes.
It's programmed as a radio show, and it's part of the student program at City College, so that the students learn how to produce a live radio show.
Yeah, and so it's sort of fun to watch a program in process. I think that was really special for me when I went last month. Also, on your website, which I want to make sure our guests, our audience knows, what's the?
It's www.jazz88.org.
Okay, great. So why don't we? And they can find out all the jazz that's happening around San Diego.
We have a calendar of all the jazz and blues that is registered by the artists themselves.
Okay.
And it's logged in, and you can find out any
that
day or
makes it
night
good.
what's going on.
Great. Let's listen to another song by the Preservationists.
Now when that band begins to play, I wanna hear that Crescent City sound in my ear. Know what it's something still in my soul. Wash away the truth of life for me. I want a new Orleans, somewhere down a Lee Street, coming free. No other style can get me on my feet. It's gotta have that Creole flavor. Oh,
just listened to was called Come and See and was written and produced by J.P. Balma, the director of music at Mission Bay High School himself. And I just think it's a great song. And I wanted to also point out his CD that is just wonderful that I listened to last night for the first time, and I thought it was great. Mark, have you listened to this music?
I have.
Pretty darn amazing that these kids can come out with such professional sounding
I think it's a great example of what kids can do when they're inspired, particularly in the areas of music, and the leadership that JP gives them is extraordinary.
It is. And I want to make sure that their website gets exposed for www.missionbaymusic.com. And speaking of which, let's put your website up again. What was that again?
Jazz88.org.
Can't forget that, jazz88.org. So what do you think? I'm thinking about jazz and baby boomers and the fact that I am getting more and more interested in jazz myself as I find music becoming stale on the radio that I listen to on average channel, with top 10, that kind of thing, I just don't like anymore. And sometimes talk radio gets a little boring. And jazz radio just seems like the perfect transition from my era listening to soul and rock to jazz. It just seems like a natural transition.
Jazz and blues, I think, is present for the disenfranchised baby boomers, of which we belong. Because you're right, we can only hear the same music over 1,000 times till we get tired of it. And jazz and blues give us the opportunity to listen to music a little bit differently, perhaps even with a little bit more of an ear toward the sophisticated interplay of instruments and how they're put together. And I think that's the role that we fill, and we find our audience starting to grow quite nicely in the 45 plus, 45 to 64-year-old baby boomer. But there are also quite a few young people who say jazz is terrific because we love the improvisation, we love the way the artists work together. You have to listen to your other artist so you can answer him musically. So yeah, we're pretty pleased with the fact that baby boomers are finding us on a greater and greater scale.
Yeah, and your disc jockeys are some of them are not young.
No,
Some of them are interesting kind
That's
of
right. That's
seasoned
right.
folk.
They've been there a long time. And I'd like to encourage people to try listening to 88.3. Try it once for a few minutes, and try it twice for a few minutes, and try it 5 or 6 times. And I think you're going to find that you come back to this radio station more and more because it is very comfortable to be there. And we're not yelling at you, talking at you, we're sharing with you. But don't just try it once, try it numerous times.
Oh, I think that's a great idea. And we don't have any more time, Mark, and I'm sorry because you're just full of information about your station, and I hope that our listeners will give it a try, especially at different times of the day. I loved listening to it at different times of the day. So thank you so much for coming, and we will continue to listen to your great station.
Thank you for this.
Someday you'll be sorry. The way you treated me was wrong. I was the one who taught you all you know. And now your friends ask you to make me sing another love song. Good luck, maybe with you. And may the future you not fear, 'cause there won't be another to treat you like a brother. Someday you'll be sorry, dear.